Welcome back to the 2021 Innosight Workshop. We will now proceed to our Session 2, Best Practices of Digitally Enabled Recovery in the Post-COVID Era. And at the very beginning, I would like to introduce our moderator for this session, Dr. Jet P.H. Shu, the advisor of Ministry of Economic Affairs, MOEA, Taiwan. And he will moderate the QA session and give us a concluding remark by the end of the session. And please note that if you have any questions for our speakers, please use the chat box and leave a text message here. And now we will move on to the first part of the afternoon session. We will start from Taiwan speakers to share the intelligent communication and transportation practice. And now let's welcome our first speaker, Mr. James Lei, the Director of Autonomous Vehicle Technology Innovative Experimentation Program Office. Mr. Lei will talk about Taiwan's development policy of autonomous vehicle technology and innovation and the sharing experience in promoting innovative experiments. Mr. Lei, please.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to everyone. My name is James Lei, Director of Autonomous Vehicle Technology and the Innovative Experimentation Program Office, or short for the AVTEP. It's my pleasure to share the topic of the autonomous vehicle with all of you. We know the world is heading toward the development of the smart transportation and the sharing economy, coupled with the rise of the 5G high-speed networking, which has driven the rapid development of innovative applications for autonomous vehicles. In recent years, various autonomous vehicle technologies and the related innovative applications have developed vigorously, which outline the appearance of the next generation of smart transportation, and also bring the impact and the challenges to the current regulatory environment and the supervision mechanism of various countries. In order to promote the development of autonomous vehicle technology in Taiwan, the innovative experiment regulations were formulated with the reference to the spirit of the sandbox. Under the score of conditions, the application of relevant supervision regulations is temporarily excluded through the law, and the flexible space encourages all sectors of industry, university, and the research to invest in the research and the development and the innovative application of autonomous vehicle technology as well. The Autonomous Vehicle Technology Innovation Experience Regulations, set by the Ministry of Economic Affairs in 2018, passed by the Congress in November. It became the first to establish a regulatory sandbox for the self-driving cars, drones, and the self-driving boats as well. It promotes the autonomous operation for industry, academia, and the research in the actual fields. In order to take into account the safety of experiment and the operation of the mechanism, the Ministry of Economic Affairs has formulated 4 authorization measures related experimentation, review meetings, information publications, action evaluating, and the issue license. In order to implement the plan, the Ministry of Economic Affairs established an office. The office's main tasks are application and the regulatory advice for innovative experimentations, feasibility assessment, holding the review meeting, planning the management. The office provides a single window to assist domestic industry in applying projects in a simple way of administration, and to team up professions in law, industry, policy, and technology for a team of staff to assist evaluating experiment plans and promoting discussion on the policies. About the autonomous vehicle technology, innovative experimentation programs. Its content includes as follows. The first is to encourage autonomous vehicle technology research and development, and the application and the promotion the development of industrial technology and the innovative service as well. The second is for the experiment on the technology, service, and the operation of autonomous vehicle for the purpose of innovative application. The view of the item include be innovative, confirm the current law and the regulations, cannot obtain permits or approval, and exclude applicable laws and regulations. Feasibility in the open field experiments. It can improve the efficiency, safety, and reduce costs of the transportation service or systems. Proposed measure to maintain the smooth traffic and ensure the safety. Assess potential risk and establish safety-related and controls measures. Establish protection measures for the participant and the experiment stakeholders. The Autonomous Vehicle Technology Innovation Experiment Project announced in October 2019. It will accept the application for autonomous vehicle technology innovation experiment cases. So far, it has been the self-driving sightseeing connections, last mile, high-speed mail information, 11 courses of the service-related innovation experiment projects, such as the drawing, logistics, were launching on the road now. The experiment includes the sightseeing connection. By using the self-driving buses, the innovative connection operation model is to introduce to connect the various sightseeing spots, guide many tourists to sightseeing factories, and use the APP reservation service model, electronic tickets to promote the local tourist crowd and business opportunities. In addition, the experiment carried out in Taipei City is the first domestic experiment to be carried out at the night time. It originates from the fact that the Taipei City buses do not provide the service after 12 o'clock in the midnight, resulting in no public transportation for the passenger returning from the other places at night. So, for this reason, in accordance with the need of the Taipei City government, the industry proposed a self-driving night experiment, hoping to test self-driving night technical response ability through the experiment, and most important, collect the needs of the night passengers to verify the night self-driving bus feasible service model. The last mile connection includes a high-speed rail, railway, MRT, light rail. Through the flexible service of the self-driving buses to provide the passenger with the connection to the science park, community, and the shopping mall as well. In the future, we will promote more applications, such as the drone and the autonomous ship. Regarding the drone, we note there are a lot of applications for the drone. So we hope to use the drone in the rural delivery. The first hoped to deliver drugs, emergency supplies, and the specimen in the remote town and the cities. The second, we will face the challenge how to increase the more way of the law, as well as the flight time, more than 2 hours for the long distance of the logistic delivery service. The third is to develop the new fuel battery for the long distance of the logistic service. Regarding the tour service, we hope to use the autonomous ship for this kind of the application. Regarding the service, we use the intelligent control systems, allow the test ship to achieve self-propeller navigation, establish long-distance wireless communication, and develop the field mirror image recognition technology to provide a navigation image and the environmental information in Low River, Kaohsiung, in the south of Taiwan. And we hope that this tour service to become the first tourist passenger ship with the independent navigation capability in Taiwan. In order to develop the innovative experience on autonomous vehicle, the Ministry of Economic Affairs has integrated the Ministry of Transportation, the Ministry of Science and Technology, and the Ministry of the Interior to carry out overall planning from the development of experiment, regulations, test laboratories, and the high precision maths, from the technical test on road experiment to demonstration operation, in order to encourage the industry to compete the proposed experiment. At present, the type of the experiment are mostly focused on the connection service, considering the diversified use of the autonomous vehicles. And in the future, we will encourage industry players to apply the experimental projects such as logistics and the 5G applications. And we also encourage new companies to combine the autonomous vehicle experiment platform to develop the innovative system products, operation, and the service model in order to achieve the development opportunity of domestic new companies. At the same time, through the supervision sandbox in the actual experience field. Of course, experience in the testing and the verification and the view of the current law and the regulation, promoting the relevant transportation authorities to gradually adjust to comply with the norm that keep pace with the times and transform Taiwan into a legal environment that is friendly to related technology research and the development and innovative service. We would like to take this opportunity to invite the representative of your country's expert to an discussion on the service, science and technology innovation policy, promotion of experience sharing, demonstration of the autonomous driving technology, and the discussion the adjustment of relevant regulation with the goal of the accelerating the development process of autonomous vehicle technology. At last, thank you for your listening, and I hope to have further discussion with all of you in the following agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lei, for the sharing. And next, we would like to invite Dr. Martin Tsai, the Senior Researcher of Industrial Technology Research Institute. And Dr. Tsai will give us a talk about power innovation and challenges in unmanned aerial vehicle, long endurance fuel cell power system. Welcome, Dr. Tsai.
Good afternoon, online audience. It's my honor to join this Innosight Workshop. Here, I will share our research results and introduce how to build up long-endurance system and probably application in the future. I am Martin Tsai from ICHI, Material, Chemical, and Research Laboratory. Online includes 5 parts from drone industry progress to understand the drone need and challenge, and how to develop long-endurance system by power innovation, and a practical flight aviation of field helicopter, and then conclusion. Due to drone technology advance, including automatic flight control and sensing device, the global market is growing rapidly over $127 billion and spread to the application of infrastructure, agriculture, transport, and so on. Drone delivery in transport application is promising and market share was quite high. Many companies watching the drone delivery market and try to enter in the future. However, drone flying meet many restrictions and need to grant the approval. Until now, there are 3 companies to grant the US Part 135 approval for drone delivery in order: Google, Alphabet, UPS, Amazon Prime Air. Each company have different strength for delivery operation. Alphabet cooperate with FedEx deliver package. UPS want to find operational efficiency and the opportunity of truck and drone co-work. Amazon is an electronic commerce. They want to build drone fleet to carry out free one-day delivery target. However, we found the same pain point that the payload was 5 pounds and cruise time only 15 to 30 minutes. It is insufficient for serving the rural area and outlying island. Therefore, power will be a key issue for drone application. 2 power parameters affect the drone performance seriously. One is power factor related to the hovering capability, and the other is energy factor, influence the cruise time. Lithium battery is still a popular power source for drone flight. Although it has higher power density, when the drone fly, power and energy consumed at the same time. Low energy density of battery will be exhausted and cannot provide endurance flight. Uber also mentioned similar issue. The energy density of battery must be greater than 300 watt-hour per kilogram. Just can apply in Uber Air, but nothing. Therefore, we propose the lithium battery still provide power need. Then fuel cell replace the battery to provide energy. In this diagram, the fossil fuel has similar energy density compared with hydrogen, but it will produce more pollutant and not clean. Hydrogen is the zero carbon emission gas and has a higher energy density of 33.6 kilowatt-hour per gram. It will widely used in the energy industry in near future. And the fuel cell system integration has a chance to enhance the energy density higher than 500 kilowatt-hour per kilogram. So the cruise time with fuel cell power can extend 2 to 3 times longer than with battery. Therefore, fuel cell system is a potential candidate for long endurance development. How to make the fuel cell system for long endurance drone application? 3 core technologies are investigated to complete the system integration, such as fuel cell component simplified, hybrid control technology, and air-cooled fuel cell stack. Fuel cell component simplified can reduce the weight of the system and then increasing efficiency of drone. For example, payload and space. Hybrid control technology can maximize energy utilization and reduce the waste heat. Lightweight and high power stack development is an important component to achieve the long endurance system. Here, fuel cell system operation is similar to chemical factory. Many large components are included in the traditional fuel cell system, like humidified water cooling system and compressor. Unnecessary component removed and lightweight cylinder use is able to simplify fuel cell system and reduce the weight effectively. This is the first step to build a long endurance system. Second, hybrid power operation shows 3 different scenarios, such as no load, light load, and heavy load. Hybrid power control technique is to serve the different situation. Better hybrid power system will enhance the power efficiency and inhibit waste heat production. According to the drone flight pattern, average cruise power remains the high-low region. We propose that fuel cell power to low directory and battery gives the actual power through the DC-DC converter. The innovative hybrid power system can obtain totally power efficiency of 99% and maximum energy utilization. Third, the global leading fuel cell stack is complete based on 4 advanced techniques, including air-cooled MEA, metallic bipolar plate design, and BOP optimization and integration. Each power stack shows the higher power density all over the world compared with the true-wing intelligent docent. Let us build a long endurance system soon. Based on 3 advanced technologies with high performance power module, multi-module and hybrid power control, and optimal system integration, long endurance fuel cell power helicopter was complete, and the cruise time depends on different configuration. The longest cruise time is more than 3 hours for 19-liter cylinder and no payload. Before proceeding the flight test, this helicopter has passed the spatial inspection certification to verify the safety and stability. Moreover, the flight distance of helicopter has been accumulated over 700 kilometers and continue to practical flight test. Until now, we have performed 4 practical flights around the Taiwan island during the last 2 years. At the beginning, short-distance flight want to understand the flight environmental effect and find out the flight issue, then to solve. On 2021, the practical flight evaluation for drone delivery has been proceeded in a long across-sea flight over 44 kilometers and a mountain flight over 2,000 meters high. That give us more confidence to receive the great goal challenge next year. There are different challenges and benefits for drone delivery demo. Because Taiwan has 268 mountains over 3,000 meters high, and accident is hard to rescue immediately. Drone can deliver the medical rescue package repeatedly and save sickness man's life. The other case, sparsely populated and inconvenient transportation in Dongji. Drone delivers COVID-19 test kit successfully from Hainan to Dongji and verify long distance of 88 kilometer round trip. This emergency delivery demo show hydrogen drone can keep the package safe and suitable for the mountain and long distance flight. Since this project got the government funding to develop long endurance drone, several milestones have been achieved, such as 4-rotor drone with global longest flight time, more than 130 minutes. Delivery demo in a cross-sea flight from short distance to long distance, and in a mountain flight, higher than 2,000 meters high. And next year, the business model will be created to find out the best scenario based on practical drone delivery operation, technology innovation, and regulation support by government. Finally, we expect that drone delivery operation will have a chance to carry out in Taiwan and create the new industry and expand the drone application market. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Tsai. And now please welcome our next speaker, Mr. Stephen Tan, Manager of Autonomous Vehicle Program, R&D Division, Automotive Research and Testing Center. Mr. Tan is going to share Future Mobility, the case study of ARTC WinBus. Welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Stephen, Manager of the Automotive Research and Testing Center, also as ARTC. Today, I'm very happy to show you ARTC's latest autonomous driving minibus platform, the WinBus. Here's my outline today. I'll introduce ARTC first and follow with the introduction of WinBus project, then have a short conclusion. ARTC was founded in 1990. We are located in Zhonghua Coastal Industrial Park as the central of Taiwan, with 129 hectares of land. Currently, we have 440 colleagues working together here, running 12 advanced laboratories and a proving ground, which has 12 test tracks inside. Our business focus are R&D in technology, drafting government policies, testing service, and global homologation. Our vehicle engineering and the testing service covers everything from whole vehicles to components, from design to testing and certification. Most of our laboratories are recognized by automakers like the US Big Three, Harley-Davidson, and Jaguar Land Rover. We also have strong connection with global certification authorities, such as UTAG France, IDIADA Spain, TÜV Rhein Germany, GSO Mid East. Okay, now let's talk about the WIN bus. The WIN bus, we call it the platform for all. As Taiwan used to be a big player in the global auto parts, systems, and the autotronics supply chain. But when it comes to autonomous technology development, we need a vehicle platform for Taiwan suppliers, carrying out real trials and gaining valuable data. That's why we design and build the WIN bus. Under the support of the Department of Industry Technology, that's DOIT, Ministry of Economic Affairs, ARTC highly integrated Taiwanese auto parts, autotronics, and ICT supply chain together in this project. Then we linked the system with our own algorithm design and came out with the WIN bus platform successfully. We use radar, LiDAR, and the camera sensors to carry out the perception together with a positioning system. These are integrated to perform decision-making and control the vehicle as we want. WIN bus thus achieved SAE level 4 autonomy with 1,000 passengers design and a moderate vehicle size. WIN bus prides itself on being one of the best solutions for the last mile of transportation. Before the on-road test, we used the pre-scan system to perform a variety of system simulations, which included model in the loop, software in the loop, hardware in the loop, and the vehicle in the loop. For the upcoming sandbox experiment in the coastal industrial park, we had developed over 350 possible road scenarios in pre-scan and had simulated the system response to secure the safe running. During the simulation process, we test the WIN bus concurrently in the ARTC lab and the proving ground to ensure that the system integration and the software algorithm were in perfect condition. Then we successfully ran the WIN bus in the Saloon autonomous vehicle test field using specific road scenarios and got a test report. As a result, we can finally apply for the government sandbox on-road test run. In August 2019, WIN bus was unveiled by the Minister of Economic Affairs and the VIP partners of ARTC. This presentation and its rapid development received a big focus in the media and lots of public attention. It was a big milestone for Taiwan's autonomous driving technology. In July 2020, ARTC, together with Kinway Technology and the Chunghwa Telecom, proposed Taiwan's first autonomous vehicle sandbox operation proposal and got the government's approval. The wind bus then run in the industrial park to evaluate the autonomous shuttle service, proof of concept, and the proof of service. To extend wind bus operation field, we begin also the discussion with technical partners, travel agents, and the academia to survey the autonomous shuttle service in an offshore island scenic area or inside a campus. To fulfill the strong demand of ADAS system and autonomous vehicle testing from the industry, under the support of government, ARTC endeavors to design new autonomous vehicle test field, which will allocate special facilities for weather simulation, connected vehicle, positioning testing, etc. And the construction will be start soon from next year. After carrying out the wind bus project, we can have the short conclusions as follows. The first, there are still many challenges to reach level 5 autonomy. Cost is always the biggest issue. We also need to improve sensor performance, computing power, hardware and software reliability, or to find out more corner cases and doing more field tests. But if we focus in level 4 autonomy, with a clearly defined operational design domain, the so-called ODD, we strongly believe that the application can be achieved soon in the near future. With all partners co-work together, we are reaching the era of autonomous driving. Many thanks for your listening, and if there's any service needed, feel free to contact ARTC. Thank you.
To date, 128 cities around the world have begun trial operations of unmanned vehicles. The development of Taiwan's most representative self-driving car, Winbus, was led by the Automotive Research and Testing Center, ARTC, of MOEA's Department of Industrial Technology. ARTC assembled 20 firms for power, electricity, car body manufacturing, and system integration to build a self-driving car with 100% independent development and design that meet SAE Level 4 standards from American Society of Automotive Engineers. Winbus holds state-of-the-art ADAS and ADS technologies, such as high-precision positioning systems, AI perception fusion identification, smart decision-making, and augmented reality display. It has been invited to various places for applications including sightseeing, campus shuttle, and dedicated quarantine transportation, creating business opportunities for the future self-driving industry.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Deng. Our next speaker is Ms. Tina Liao, the Deputy Project Director of Industrial Technology Research Institute. And Ms. Liao will talk about 5G AIoT for smart city value, speeding up 5G application services with smart poles. Now, please welcome Ms. Tina Liao.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, distinguished speakers, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tina Liao, and I work for the Next Generation Technology Communication Office at Industrial Technology Research Institute, also known as ITRI. It's my great honor to share our policy and industrial experience regarding 5G Smart Pole program in Taiwan with you today. In particular, I would like to talk about how to speed up 5G service applications by smart poles. This is the outline of my presentation today. I will start with why smart poles? Because the smart pole is not just a pole. It's part of the strategic 5G infrastructure, and it can be a key enabler of wider smart city solutions. With that, I would like to discuss further about the main foresight. I will share with you what we have been doing. We have set up an industrial standard alliance. We foster proof of concept projects in Taipei and Kaohsiung and inspire technology innovation solutions. In the conclusion, I will share key takeaway messages. The first question is, why? Why smart poles? As 5G enables new possibilities and capabilities beyond mobile broadband. But capacity of the mobile network is still a bottleneck. The demand of 5G base station will be higher than 4G. However, it's difficult to find new sites for base stations in urban area. So, the street lampposts are very valuable sites for deployment base stations. That's why many leading countries have adopted smart poles as part of their strategic infrastructure. It's smart city furniture. They will invent streetlights or the lamppost to be smart poles. However, there is no universal standards to promote the wide adoption yet. And as such, the cost is still too high to be widely deployed. And there are only small scale of trials without large scale of deployment so far. It is estimated that the procurement cost will be reduced by up to 50%. How about the market size? Globally, there are 330 million streetlights, and it is expected to grow to more than 360 million by the end of 2029. Today, 25% of all global streetlights has been converted to LEDs, and more than 10 million of them has been connected to internet, which is only about 3% in total. So, the smart pole will have great market potential. It's not just a pole, it's Smart Pole 4.0. It's an ICT product now, just like our computer. Please look at this photo. It's all modularized, and many devices can be embedded inside the pole, including 5G base station, roadside units, and the hardware of virtualization edge computing. It's just like Lego pieces or transformer. They can put every unique pieces all together. As it deploys in the public space, the smart pole needs to be blended into the landscape, decorating the environment with a sense of beauty. To speed up the deployment, we recommend plug and play be used at the time of installation. From this picture, you can see the smart pole is not just the lighting source. It's a new form of 5G AIoT infrastructure. So we even call it city furniture. They are currently being fitted with base station, wireless sensor, cameras, so they can help urban planning and operations. If the city can use the data collected from the smart poles to improve the quality of life for citizens. Also, The government can even use the smartphones to help to tackle the pandemic, like the COVID-19, by monitoring the social distance, detect fever, or send out the public alerts. I would like to highlight the importance of the data platform and the neutral host operating model. This will bring real value creation and bring investment opportunities. The data collected from the smartphones through this neutral host platform will be provided to the application layer through the open interface, and this will allow more innovative applications. This will create a brand new business models for city government and operators for joint ventures. Moreover, this is the real value creation and bring the investment opportunities. But what limits the deployment of this data platform? Lack of trust from the public. It is not easy to apply data privacy policy and provide transparency to the citizen. There are three main foresights of the smartphone program in Taiwan. The first one is to establish an industrial standard alliance. The Ministry of Economic Affairs and the leading ICT companies jointly initiate the 5G Smartphone Alliance in March this year. We aim to establish the de facto standards and then make them to national standards. Secondly, we use pilot projects to promote the field trials. There are two pilot projects now. The first proof of concept project will be in Taipei in this coming December. And the second one will be in Yawan, in Kaohsiung, next June. And those will bring inspiring innovations, technologies, and business all together. This is the 5G Smartphone Alliance organization. The Mr. Zhi Xiantong, Chairman and CEO of Picatron, is invited to be the chairman of the alliance. He is also the co-founder of ASUS. The alliance is organized with Center Council Committee, Secretariat Office, 3 special interest groups, standard development, verification, securities, and field trials, each with several working groups you can see from the below here. There are bi-weekly meetings within the working groups, and members have been contributing to the standard development. The Alliance has just released the draft standard in this October. Let me show you the pilot project in Taipei. I'm so proud to introduce it. This is the first standardized deployment in the world. The Smartphone Alliance has been working with Taipei City government to create the first smartphone project near Taipei City government. The application includes 5G network, intelligent lighting, security, monitoring, EV charging station, weather station, and digital signage. If you happen to in town in next March for Smart City Expo, I would like to invite you to pay the visit. This is another pilot project. The Bay Area project is located in southern Taiwan. This will be a living 5G AIoT lab. The park is also open to international partners. The objective are to link technology innovators, system integrators, platform developers, and service providers in one area to test 5G infrastructures and applications. 5G smart poles will be deployed as part of the 5G infrastructure here. The goal is to create a 5G Open RAN smart pole demo zone, which can be the first of the world. For the technologies used in the previous POC in Taipei City and Kaohsiung City, we have integrated leading domestic manufacturers in various fields in Taiwan. For example, Pekatron, Foxconn, Compal, Delta, Odin, Yes Energy, and so on, which are all members of our 5G Smart Pole Alliance. Each provide their software and hardware system, working together on an open platform and under the version 1 of the standards by Alliance they just released in October. To verify and incubate the different application solutions and new business models, I will introduce more detailed technical solutions and providers next. The first one is Foxconn's solution. It's fully integrated platform as a service and software as a service. The solution including pole management, edge computing, 5G network management, smart lighting, EV charging, smart traffic enforcement, and smart environment systems. If interested in them, you can find the contact information all here below, and please contact them directly. The second I'd like to introduce is Compal's solution. The Compal focuses on 5G RAN solution like sub-6, millimeter wave, small cell, all in one type for 5G smart pole applications. They are also a member of 5G O-RAN Alliance and adopt O-RAN architecture solutions. The third company is Huacom. The Huacom is leading broadband system integrator in Taiwan. Huacom Smart Pole solution provide many value-added application services, including street light monitoring, micro base station, traffic law enforcement, people flow analysis, electric car charging, energy notifications. The last one is Odin Techno. The Odin is leading integrated total solution providers. They dedicate to advanced research designing and the manufacturing of the radio frequency product, including high performance embedded antenna. For smart pole, contributing in radio frequency and adopt customized module RF design as well as O-RAN testing to meet 5G O-RAN Alliance standards. Last but not least, what we expect the benefit of the smart poles are: first, by speeding up 5G deployment to drive smart city digital transformation and use ICT for city governors. Second, with the de facto standards to encourage the large-scale deployment and reduce the cost. And the third, providing operators with a platform for joint installations of base stations on poles. Lastly, sharing experience on SmartPo with APEC members, and exploring further cooperation opportunities. This page summarizes my report today. There are 3 takeaway points. First, Taiwan has adopted SmartPo as a strategic infrastructure for smart city, and we believe this will bring the next big things for Taiwan industry. Second, it's all about applications and data. Data will drive and trigger the development of smart city. Lastly, with Taiwan's ICT strength, we have complete 5G ecosystem and have ability to set up the de facto industrial standards. That's all my presentation for today. By sharing this with APEC members, we hope to have chance to work with you and encourage open field testbed in the future. Here is my contact information. Please feel free to reach me for more information. Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone. After looking into the practices and experiences from Taiwan, we're going to invite speakers from Thailand, Indonesia, the Philippines, and Malaysia to tell us more about their sites. And first, please join me to welcome Dr. Jankrish Kanatarana, Executive Vice President of National Science and Technology Development Agency, NSTDA, Thailand, and the Executive Director of the Eastern Economic Corridor of Innovation, EECI. NSTDA is in close partnership with ITRI, and we always enjoy learning from them. And today, Dr. Kanatarana will give us the speech in EECI, a transnational research platform supporting Thailand's industrial transformation. Welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and Sawadee Krap. Hello from Thailand. First of all, I would like to thank the hosts for inviting me to speak at this session today. My topic for today is about the Eastern Economic Corridors of Innovation, or EECI, and its role in supporting Thailand industrial transformation. Before I deep dive into EECI, I would like to point out to you that EECI is a part of the Eastern Economic Corridors, or EEC. The EEC is a mega initiative of the Thai government to upgrade the Eastern Seaboard, which is the economic powerhouse of the countries, so that the Eastern Seaboard, or now it's called EEC, can be the economic engines driving Thailand into the future. So far, over the past 4 years, about 1.6 trillion Thai baht, or roughly 1.6 trillion Taiwan dollars, have been invested in the EEC by both the government and the private sector. Additional investment of 2 trillion Thai baht is planned for the next 5 years. Furthermore, I would like to point out that besides economic growth, inclusive growth and green growth are also at the heart of the development, especially in the case of EECI. We at EECI see that fostering economic growth together with inclusive and green growth are the only way to go to ensure resilience and sustainability, especially after COVID-19. EECI, or the Eastern Economic Corridors of Innovation, is the innovation infrastructures in EEC designed to support the development of Thailand's 6 targeted industries, namely modern agriculture, biofuels, biochemicals, batteries and modern transport, automation, robotics and smart electronics, aviation, aerospace, and medical devices. As these industries are high technology industries, it is important for industries and academia to work together collaboratively. As such, ECI positions itself as an innovation hub connecting research and investment across Thailand to facilitate the collaborative work. In addition, we look further into the details, and we realize that there is another missing link, that is the infrastructures that are dedicated to local research scaling up and foreign technology localizations to support the industry and academia collaborations. This therefore becomes the second positioning of ECI, the hubs of translational research and technology localization. With this positioning, infrastructures at ECI will mostly be pilot plants, test-beds, sandboxes, demonstration plans, and so on, that can facilitate techno-economic feasibility studies of research output to be commercialized or localized in Thailand and ASEAN. Next, ECI headquarters is located in Rayong province at a site called Wangjan Valley, which encompasses an area of roughly 5.5 square kilometers. The ecosystem of Wangjan Valley is comprised of 3 zones: community zone to support the livings of the innovators, education zones to produce new knowledge and high-end manpower, and innovation zones to produce innovations and new technology for industries. Currently, the community zones and innovation zones are under construction, whereas the education zone is already in operations with a research university called VISTEC on site. According to Nature Index, VISTEC ranks 12th in the world on its list of top 30 academic institutions under 30 years old. Besides VISTEC, there are a high school of the gifted called KVIS on site, as well as a Wangjan Reforestation Learning Centers that demonstrates the technique to reforest an arid land. Both KVIS and Wangjan Reforestation Centers are in operations already. Now let me talk about the construction of the ECI headquarters. The construction of ECI headquarters in the ECI Innovation Zone broke ground 2 years ago with a ceremony presided by Thailand Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha. The construction of ECI headquarters is expected to finish within this quarter, and we expect that the ECI headquarters will be ready for the soft opening about April or May of next year. And in terms of technology platform, I'm happy to inform you that ECI have 5 technology platforms, namely ECI Biopolis for biotechnologies, the Aripolis ARI is for digital technologies, the Food Innopolis for food technologies, and Space Innopolis for space technologies, including aviation and aerospace. And also we have 3 giga-electron-volt synchrotron facilities that are ongoing at the moment. Within each technology platform, there are several infrastructures under development or being planned. For example, under the Biopolis, there are the biorefinery pilot plants, the greenhouse plant factory, and smart farm demonstration sites are being developed, whereas the modern aquaculture facility is in the planning stage. For Aripolis, the sustainable manufacturing centers is now well underway, whereas the zinc-ion battery pilot plant and the connected and autonomous vehicle proving ground will break ground very soon. The UAV sandbox under the Space Innopolis is already in the pilot operations, and the synchrotron facilities is already in the design stage. The following slide are some of the research and innovation activities that industries and academics are participating under the umbrellas of ECI. For modern agriculture, shown in this slide, the activities span from the development of UAV sandbox for agriculture and surveillance applications, plant factory development, phenomic greenhouse and advanced greenhouses. The focus of the activities will be on precise new variety screening, elite varieties with specific trait selection, and on optimal growing conditions. The target plants are high-value crops such as herbs and spices, as well as major economic crops such as sugarcane and cassava. Even though most of these activities sound very biotechnology-driven, believe me, digital technology is indeed a backbone of all these facilities and activities. In biorefineries, the focuses are on the development of food supplements, nutraceuticals, and cosmeceutical active ingredients, as well as on the biochemicals from agricultural products and agro waste. The multi-purpose GMP and non-GMP biorefinery pilot plant at ECI use generic technologies to support research scale-up and technology economic feasibility studies. The pilot plants will also be set up in a way that proprietary technologies can be connected to the facility as well. So companies have the options of trying out high-end technologies to compare the results. Next, ECI is particularly interested on the industry transformation through Industry 4.0 concept. The upcoming sustainable manufacturing centers in ECI will be a focal point to demonstrate Industry 4.0, as well as being a center of test-based training and marketplace for advanced cyber-physical components and systems. The ongoing work, including the piloting of Industry 4.0 readiness assessment tool and the industrial IIoT data analytic platform, which deploy IIoT into factories to monitor and improve energy efficiencies. On the case of the Industry 4.0 readiness assessment, we have already piloted the assessment in 20 factories and are now conducting 100 more factory assessments in this quarter. A tool called Thailand Industry 4.0 Index was developed as an initiative of ECI, and it is now going to be used by the government in expediting incentives for companies embarking on the Industry 4.0 journey. On the industrial IIoT data analytic platform, we work with many partners to pilot IIoT interoperability solutions for Thai industries. With this platform, factories can have a peace of mind that they always have options to choose between brands at their next investment. This makes IIoT investment decision of factories less complex and potentially accelerating market growth, as well as it could allow for low-cost solutions for SMEs. The situation, we believe, is a win-win situation to all parties. In addition, the authorities regulating energy efficiencies in Thailand is in the process of adopting this IIoT platform as the preferred choice for energy efficiency reporting systems. After the adoption, large-scale big data analytics can be performed to make data-driven energy policies and incentivize package for energy efficiency. The logos shown here are some of the partners in the platform. In smart transport, ECI is particularly focused on autonomous vehicle development and on advanced battery technologies. Shown in this slides are the emerging ecosystem at ECI to support the modern transport industries. For the development in the area of connected and autonomous vehicles, The vehicle proving ground will start construction in a few months' time. In addition, the road system in ECI, Wangchan Valley, is designed to support a living lab setting on which system of autonomous vehicles and hybrid coexistence between traditional vehicles and autonomous vehicles can be piloted on a real environment. In terms of applications, we have demonstrated the technologies in a community environment already last year with a level 3 autonomous golf cart. Larger version, a level 3 autonomous feeder, is next and should be ready for demonstration in the first half of next year. And now, so far you have heard me explaining ECI and its activity related to the modern industries. My next few slides will touch upon our works in the areas of technology for better living of the locals and for sustainable environment. The eastern regions of Thailand is known as a tropical fruit paradise, and among the many fruits in the region, durian, the one shown here in the pictures, is the most important to the local economy. Traditionally, durian trees consume lots of water, up to 1,000 liters per tree per day. With the expansions of the industries and service sectors, water is a needed commodity for everyone, and tension can easily arise in drought season or when water is not properly managed. Labor issues follow the same tracks, and farming sector is on the losing end when it comes to competition for workforce. We work with a number of durian orchards in the areas to introduce a smart farming technology to the orchard owners. In the process, we also integrate their local wisdoms into the system. For example, our farmers, our orchard owners, they know that if the weather and soil moistures are at certain conditions for a certain duration, durian flower can bloom off-season. We therefore add sensors to help them monitor microclimate and soil moistures in the orchards and create a mobile application that the farmers can monitor various parameters and make watering decisions from their mobile. The early result, which still subjected to more thorough assessment, indicated that water usage is reduced by 90% from 1,000 liters to roughly 90 liters per tree per day. And that is a lot of water saved when you have several hundred durian trees in your orchard. In addition, we also see significant labor reductions. For example, this particular orchard owner can get by with his 50-acre orchard without having to hire any labor during the few months of COVID-19 lockdown last year. And yet, he has a more productive output than the year before. The eastern regions of Thailand is also famous for seafood, and aquaculture is important to the local economy as well. In this area, we work closely with the Chai Patana Foundation to demonstrate the use of smart systems to monitor the key parameters throughout the culture cycle. The results are quite remarkable, and among them, the smart system helped reduce daily water discharge from 10 to 30% of the pond volumes down to almost zero discharge. And for 60-day culture cycle, that is a lot of water. Finally, what I described until now is the development of Innosight and its ongoing activities. You may see that digital technology has cut across and play very important enabling roles in most of them. As Taiwan is a very digitally advanced country, I believe that there are a lot of opportunities that we can partner in a win-win way to everyone. So please let me end my presentation by pointing out that there are some of the areas that we can work together to further our collaboration. For example, we are keen on working with companies that plan to localize advanced technologies for Thailand and ASEAN market. We are also looking for partners with companies who want to develop high-value products from the abundant bioresources of the country. Joint research and innovation with local university and research institute, share use of advanced research infrastructure in ECI, and of course, joint development of talent are some of the mechanisms we can explore together. In addition, we are open to any suggestions from you that will make your investment in Thailand a win-win arrangement for you and for the Thai people. Thank you. And we are looking forward to welcome you to Thailand digitally or in person. สวัสดีครับ and ขอบคุณครับ
Thank you, Dr. Kanatarana. And next, we would like to welcome Dr. Yeni Bakhtiar, the head of Technology Service Center of National Research and Innovation Agency, BRIN, Indonesia, to talk about best practices of digital transformation acceleration in Indonesia in facing COVID-19 pandemic. Welcome, Dr. Bakhtiar.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, the audience of 8th Innosight Workshop 2001. First of all, I would like to thank for the organizing committee for allowing me to share the best practices of digital transformation acceleration in Indonesia to facing COVID-19 pandemic. COVID-19 has changed everything overnight, especially in how we do face-to-face interaction. With the lockdown in place, billions of people have been pushed to work from home. As shown in this slide, the World Health Organization, or WHO, has released guidelines in performing physical distancing in various situations that were normally done pre-COVID-19 pandemics, such as encouraging to stay at home and avoid events with large crowds. Another aspect that is encouraged is the use technology in order to stay connected with our loved ones and even to do basic needs such as online grocery shopping. COVID-19 has also changed how schools, colleges, educational institutions are leveraging online learning platforms. More consumers have begun shopping online in greater numbers, causing an e-commerce boom, as well as replacing offline mall and store visits to online grocery, apparel, and entertainment shopping. The COVID-19 pandemic has also changed how we do our routines, where contactless behavior are now encouraged. It accelerates digital transformation globally. With the help of the technology through digital transformations, working from home has become a viable option, even after the COVID-19 pandemic. A hybrid working scheme of both working from home, office and working from home may become the new norm in the future. It also changed how we normally do our medical consultation. Rather than directly visiting the hospital, where there is a significant risk in contacting COVID-19, people are now using telemedicine platforms to gain access to health services for medical screening from home and online. People will then only go to the hospital or clinic after being assessed by the doctor through this online medical consultation, if necessary. Physical distancing has discouraged people to do their financial transaction with cash and allow them to be more accustomed in performing financial transactions digitally. Not only for daily conversation, but social media platforms are now used for the exchange of information such as sending documents. There is also a shift in using social media to perform marketing and promotion rather than the use of traditional advertising such as billboards. The education sector has also adapted, where virtual platforms are now being used as a complement to face-to-face meetings. To prevent large crowd gatherings in factories, industrial and production activities are becoming more automated if feasible. The International Data Corporation or IDC believe that we will go through 5 phases from crisis to recovery. These phases are COVID crisis, economic slowdown, recession, return to growth, and become the next normal. The primary focus of each phases are business continuity, cost optimization, business resiliency, targeted investment, and future enterprise. The IDC believes that future enterprise is an organization that underpins business processes with technology. It's fueled by innovation, it's platform-enabled, and it's ecosystem-centric. Business leaders now find themselves at a decision point to follow the same course of cost-cutting as previous recessions have dictated, or to flatten their own organization recessionary curve by leveraging technology. Innovation through the leverage of technology is the only viable path for enterprise recovery. The Indonesia economic sector has sound trends related to digital platforms and technology. The Association of Indonesia Internet Service Providers, IPGII, reported that in 2020, there is a shift in the internet traffic from office areas to homes, as well as an increase by 15 to 20%. The Association of Indonesia Telecommunication Providers, ATSI, reported that in 2020, there is a shift in application preferences from user-generated content and games to applications that support work and entertainment. Before the large-scale social restriction took place in April 2020, the top 5 most popular applications were WhatsApp, everybody knows WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and PUBG. But after the large-scale social restriction, the top 5 most popular applications were WhatsApp, that still stand in top 5, work applications, Zoom, Google Classroom, and entertainment applications such as Netflix and TikTok. Last year, in April 2020, reports that compared to pre-COVID spending of time or money, there's a significant increase in spending of time or money on digital platforms. As shown in the graph, 69% of electronic retailing apps, including e-grocery, and 65% of digital payments apps has received an increase in spending, while 79% of ride-hailing apps has suffered to a decrease in spending. The sudden change is largely due to the COVID-19 as well related regulation implemented such as the large-scale social restriction. In March 2020, when COVID-19 was officially reported to be detected in Indonesia, the Bank of Indonesia reported that there is an increase of 9.9% on worth of transaction and increase of 18.1% on number of transactions across all major e-commerce platforms from the previous months of February 2020. It is highly noted that this sudden increase was only 1 month after the COVID-19 virus hit Indonesia. The Indonesia E-Commerce Association, or IDEA, also reported that from 14th of May until 20th of June 2020, there were more than 300 new micro, small, medium enterprises that have been formed and increase in gross merchandise value up to 2,000%. In Indonesia health sector, the use of data helps the government in understanding the effectiveness of the COVID-19 response. The use of government data such as epidemiology data, surveillance data, and health services data allow the government to plot level of risk exposure in a regional area that helps the government to make appropriate decisions. Aside from the government data, communal data has also made a significant impact in fighting COVID-19 that inspired the development of Peduli Lindungi application. The application relies on community participation to share data on vaccination status, PCR or antigen test result, as well as location while traveling in order for contact history tracing with COVID-19 patients can be carried out. The communal data includes reports of dead people with COVID-19 burial procedures, crowd reports, self-report with health and illness with symptoms of COVID-19, reports of people who are healthy and sick with COVID-19 symptoms, and compliant report on COVID-19 services. As mentioned before, this pandemic has inspired the rise of telemedicine applications that allow people to access health services from home and online. The Indonesian government, through the Ministry of Health and collaboration with 11 telemedicine applications such as Halo Dokter, Get Well, Good Doctor, Halodoc, Link Sehat, and so on, was able to provide remote consultation services as well as free vitamin and drugs to COVID-19 patients who are self-isolating. This collaboration has also allowed people to access and make arrangements to the more than 700 PCR laboratories around Indonesia that have been integrated with the 11 telemedicine platforms. Through the eye of Indonesian governmental sector, the COVID-19 has brought a stop to the economy. It causes the industrial utilization to be less than 50%, supply chain disruption, decline in economic activity, increase in unemployment and poverty. The COVID-19 pandemic encouraged the government to perform economic transformation in order to reset what causes the economy to stop. The government, through the Coordinating Ministry for Economic Affairs, has formulated the economic reset and transformation strategy in order to deal with the post-COVID-19 era. The economic reset and transformation strategy focus on the following areas: Industry 4.0, digital transformation, infrastructure, implementation of Law of the Republic of Indonesia number 11, 2020 on job creation, competency improvement, micro, small, and medium enterprise through digital platforms, financial technology or fintech, and renewable energy. And digital transformation is one of the key areas emphasized in order to perform economic transformation. The role of information technology is important to accelerate the licensing process, simplifies the bureaucracy, and reforms regulation. The President of Indonesia, Mr. Joko Widodo, in his speech regarding digital transformation, has issued the following directives in order to accelerate the digital transformation. 1. Immediately accelerate the expansion of access and improvement of digital infrastructure and the provision of internet services. The second, prepare a digital transformation roadmap in strategic sectors that includes government sector, public services, social assistance, education, health, trade, industry, and broadcasting. And third, accelerate the integration of national data centers. And the fourth, prepare the needs of digital talent, human resource. And the last one is relevant regulations as well as funding and financing schemes to be prepared as soon as possible. The National Research and Innovation Agency, or BRIN, was formed through the integration of 4 major R&D institutions in Indonesia, which are the Indonesian Institute of Sciences, or LIPI, Agency for the Assessment and Application of Technology, BPPT, is the one I working before, and National Institute of Aeronautics and Space, or LAPAN, and National Nuclear Energy Agency of Indonesia, BATAN. BRIN, as one of the government agency in charge of handling technology development, has also participated in digital transformation, including developing various applications for handling COVID-19. Some of the various applications are as follows. BRIN has developed several applications to support internal work processes that has helped the organization to run smoothly during the COVID-19 pandemic. The first, BRIN has developed a mailing and disposition information system that allow disposition of important documents throughout the organization to be done digitally and securely without the risk of misplacing documents, as well as the need to handle the placed documents offline. As a result, important matters and action can be done directly, even to those who are working from home. BRIN has also developed an information system for electronic signature. Documents can now be signed digitally without the need of wet signature, which allows exchange of important information within the organization to be faster and more credible. Documents are now approved directly without the need to see each other face-to-face in order to obtain wet signature. BRIN has also developed an information system for tracking budget submission process, or called Si Pejuang. This application is used to monitor, control, and verify expenses during the execution of our technological services that we provide to our clients. Project leaders and members are no longer required to see our treasurers face-to-face to submit their budget requests, as those are now processed and verified online. Project teams and members are only required to see our treasurers when their requests are approved. This has increased the efficiency of our cost control process, as well as preventing large number of people together at the same time during the pandemic. BRIN has also developed an attendance reporting application called Fabiola. Fabiola allows the employees to report their attendance from their mobile phones using a biometric face recognition feature. This application has also high-ranking officials to monitor employee attendance, especially those who are working from home. To improve testing, tracing, and treatment in BRIN during the COVID-19 pandemic, BRIN has developed an application called Si Jempol. Si Jempol facilitates the management of employee health data, including assisting the process of recording employee vaccination data. It is also equipped with a dashboard that contains detailed information of the registration of employees who have been confirmed positive for COVID-19. Aside from work support application, BRIN has also developed application to directly support the government in handling the COVID-19 pandemic. The PC20 is an Android-based mobile application that is used to conduct health self-assessments. This application uses low Bluetooth energy to monitor other users in the vicinity while assessing the database on users who are under supervision of COVID-19 based on their self-assessment results. The application could help avoid areas that have the potential to be infected by the COVID-19 virus. With this application, the government can determine clusters of COVID-19 patients by knowing the list of people who have been close proximity with those individuals for the last 14 days. With the use of artificial intelligence, BRIN has developed known as direct digital radiography, or DDR. We name it Medina. It is an AI-based application that is designed with a thorax capture mode for the diagnosis of COVID-19 patient. It is equipped with digital imaging communication, medicine or DICOM, data features to support the implementation of Health 4.0. I would like to end this presentation with the following conclusion. In any crisis, new opportunities emerge. Digital transformation and COVID-19 somehow seem to go hand in hand. Using technology, we have more chance to create resilient processes and business models that give us competitive edge in our new reality and well into the future. The accelerated adoption of digital transformation is the best way to avoid a short-term economic collapse and combat the COVID-19 pandemic with resilience. Whether this trend has come to stay will depend on how we as humans define the role of technology in our work and life. The following quote from Steve Jobs is inspiring. Technology is nothing. What is important is that you have a faith in people, that they are basically good and smart, and if you give them tools, they will do wonderful things with them. I think that's all for my presentation. Thank you for listening our presentation today. Hope you have a good day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Bakhtiar. And now let's welcome our third speaker from the Philippines, Dr. Raymond Francis R. Sarmiento, the Director of National Telehealth Center, National Institutes of Health, University of the Philippines, Manila. Dr. Sarmiento will share Harnessing STI for Sustainable Development of the Philippines in the Post-Pandemic Era. Welcome.
Thank you, everyone, and good afternoon, wherever you are. I'm privileged to represent the Philippines and give a presentation on sustainable development for the Philippines by harnessing science, technology, and innovation. Let me start by sharing my screen, and I hope you'll be able to see it as I move on to the slideshow version. So the title of my presentation is Harnessing STI, or Science, Technology, and Innovation, for Sustainable Development of the Philippines in the Post-Pandemic Era, Advancing Universal Healthcare for a Resilient Philippines. Just a general disclaimer that all statements issued are mine alone, and my presentation does not necessarily reflect the position of the university or the Philippine government. I also declare no conflicts of interest with any proprietary entities I may mention, as well as no financial relationships that I need to declare with any proprietary manufacturers of commercial products, etc. These are my competing interests, at least for this presentation. I will start off by providing a view of the innovation drivers in healthcare, and in particular, providing a context in terms of Philippines' health sector expenditure. I will be looking into what are the digitally enabled solutions that we have now in the Philippines, how has COVID-19 paradoxically spurred on innovation and the best practices that we have learned so far. How do we align existing solutions and health programs to the 2018 Universal Healthcare Law in the Philippines? And how do we work towards a resilient and healthy Philippines? For innovation drivers, and this comes from the World Economic Forum report on shaping the future of health council, I think this was in 2016 or 2017, let me direct your attention to the middle of the screen, which shows the digitalization of health and healthcare spurs on rapid evolution of science and medicine. On the right-hand side of this slide, it will show the estimated volume of medical knowledge and how it will double, although in terms of context, this does not take into account all of the advances that have come in the past 18 or 19 months because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and how the different applications in terms of digital health have spurred on multiple advances in terms of delivering healthcare and being able to do case surveillance and epidemiological modeling. That rapid evolution results in unsustainable rise of cost. And because of that rise in cost, we are now looking into how can we innovate? How can we work towards being able to deliver that same level of care for the Philippines, and how each of them could be sustained at a more cost-effective level. In the Philippines, we have a current health expenditure that is 10.9% higher in 2018 compared to in 2019 compared to 2018, with total health expenditure being 7.9% higher in 2019 compared to 2018. That's something that we are continuing to work on. But what will be a takeaway from this slide is that the government has been pouring its resources and really investing in terms of the different resources that will be needed for the health sector in the Philippines, and that has grown each and every year since then. In the Philippines, we have multiple e-health solutions that look into electronic medical records and how all of these facilitate better data management, better collection of all of the data that's needed for processing and for eventually being able to provide quality healthcare services in the country. We are also one of the first in the region that has looked into HL7 FHIR, which is an emerging health information exchange standard. FHIR is an acronym. It stands for Fast Healthcare Interoperability Resources, connecting multiple medical devices, connecting softwares such as one from a medical device and also from an electronic medical record system, which we did, I think, in 2016. So it's been a little over 5 years now. In the Philippines, we also have looked into universally accessible healthcare innovations that are spurred on and leveraging health blocks or blockchain technology. On the left-hand side, you will see real-world blockchain use cases, and this is something that has been awarded, at least in the Dubai Expo in 2018, if I'm not mistaken, an electronic medical record that leverages the use of blockchain as part of its work in terms of connecting records from one facility to another. The COVID-19 pandemic has also provided us with the impetus to really refine and work on our disease modeling strategies as well as projections and all of the other digital health tools that we have. On this slide, it shows our feasibility analysis for syndromic surveillance and epidemiologic modeler, or FASTER, that's the acronym. And this has been a work from the academe, from the University of the Philippines and the Ateneo de Manila University, and has been donated to the Philippine government, to our Ministry of Health or our Department of Health, to help the government in its fight against COVID-19 by having a better view in terms of case surveillance in the country and how the epidemic curve has been shifting all throughout the country, especially since we are an archipelago. In this slide, it will show the different waves or surges that we experienced, which was in August of last year, April of this year, and in August, September of this year. All of these are based on health data science techniques and informatics methods that all of the project members have contributed to making this a better tool for use. Not just for that part of the epidemiologic modeling, but we are looking at the effective reproduction number for a particular disease. Previously, FASTER as a tool has been used for disease modeling for dengue, malaria, and measles. But when the COVID-19 pandemic hit us, we shifted into being able to use this particular platform for the Philippines in terms of being able to model and project COVID-19 cases in the country. This has been considered and has been recognized as the official case surveillance and projection and epidemiologic modeling and projection tool by the Philippine government. This one shows the risk classification map. So all of these things really came about during the last 18 and 19 months. And all of our gains that have been a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, I believe that's something that should be sustained even after COVID-19 during our post-pandemic era. In the Philippines also, before we were able to roll out national or nationwide in scale in terms of electronic health information systems, we did not have nothing in the realm of a national immunization registry or anything that's much more detailed in terms of a supply chain management system, nothing in terms of a vaccination administration system, and finally, no digital vaccination certificate. So all of these that you are seeing on the screen right now, from master listing, inventory and supply chain, vaccine administration, line list upload, and vaccine certification, all of this just came about in the past 10, 11 months from planning all the way to execution. And that's something that we are proud to say have been a huge contribution in the government's response to COVID-19 during the rollout of the COVID-19 vaccines. This is just a snapshot of how all of the different information systems connect to each other and work together with the different processes as mentioned. All of these flow into the VIMS data warehouse where all of the data gets consolidated. And on a daily basis, that data gets reported to the national agencies, our national task force, to be able to make sure that the vaccines are delivered to where it's most needed, get a sense of where they are in terms of consumption, in terms of wastage, in terms of pilferage, and does it really make a dent in terms of lowering the incidence of cases of COVID-19 in those areas, which we have found that it does. And then finally, we have the VaxCert PH, which is our digital vaccination certificate. It contains the following elements in terms of the name, the date of birth, the sex, and the issuing office, and the issuing date and time, and the vaccine details below. It also has a QR code. We are employing, in terms of security features, a public-private key, so that only those that are authorized to be able to read the QR code that's a little bit dense in this scenario could be read by the authorized agencies. And as mentioned, this digital vaccination certificate is also part of the entire suite of systems for our COVID-19 vaccination rollout. And, and prior to rolling it out, there were several consultations, which includes the World Health Organization, to make sure that it is compliant with the World Health Organization's digital documentation for COVID-19 certificates. All of these also have to be aligned with the National Unified Health Research Agenda. At the National Telehealth Center, we work primarily on several fronts, particularly on responsive health systems, on research to enhance and extend healthy lives, as well as global competitiveness and innovation in health, and research in equity and health. All of that will also need to be aligned with the Philippines National Health Program. Our National Health Program currently is called the Formula 1 Plus for Health, which is a continuation of a previous health program. It has 4 strategic pillars on financing, service delivery, regulation, and good governance. The plus represents the performance accountability, which indicates that you could really not know where you are going and if you are able to achieve all of your goals and your targets if you do not know how you are performing right now. So it's a lot of implementation and operationalization vis-a-vis monitoring and evaluation to be able to make sure that you are able to adjust and adapt your strategies if there is something to be worked on, specifically if you are not meeting your milestone targets. In the Philippines, the National Telehealth Center figures prominently also in the National eHealth Program, which follows the WHO and the International Telecommunications Union's toolkit, so the WHO and ITU toolkit in 2011 on how countries can come up with their national e-health strategies, which is now the National Digital Health Strategies. It has 7 components in governance, legislation, policy and compliance, standards and interoperability, strategy investment, infrastructure, human resources, and e-health solutions. And those that are in the blue are the contributions of the University of the Philippines, Manila through the National Telehealth Center to the National eHealth Program, as mentioned. We also try to align all of these, especially when the law on universal healthcare was passed in 2018. Specifically, Section 36 mentions that all health service providers and insurers shall each maintain a health information system consisting of enterprise resource planning, human resource information, electronic health records, and electronic prescription log consistent with DOH standards and electronically uploaded on a regular basis through interoperable systems. So standards and interoperability is one of our main thrusts at the National Telehealth Center, and it's one of the main focus in terms of being able to push forward the agenda for digital health in the country. We realize that with all of the existing health information systems, they are siloed and they just talk with users that are very, very specific to that particular health program. But if you make a concerted effort to make sure that all of the health information systems in the country are interoperable and able to integrate their data, that will be very, very helpful in terms of achieving at an earlier pace universal healthcare for your country. Making sure that integration is possible and sustainable. The national government agencies to the Department of Health and the Department of Interior and Local Government, as well as our National Health Insurance Program, which is PhilHealth, or the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, and our local government units working together with the local chief executives to make sure that managerial integration and financial integration are ensured and achieved during that very, very short period of time. So the challenge for the next 3 years, at the very least, and this was even before the COVID-19 pandemic hit, is how do we achieve integrated local health systems? How do we make sure that the patient that is being seen at the primary healthcare facility has their records also be made accessible at the secondary health facilities, tertiary healthcare facilities, as well as the apex hospitals? So all of these really will depend so much on digital technologies and the digital transformation of these institutions and agencies. For the Philippines, this is quote-unquote our holy grail, our goal for the Philippines, the Philippine Health Information Exchange, to be able to make sure that all of the point-of-care applications here, be it systems, information systems at the hospitals or primary healthcare facilities, at the clinics or health centers, the laboratories and pharmacy systems, they are all talking to each other and are able to make sure that all of the data gets reported to the relevant agencies like the Department of Health and our National Health Insurance Program, which is the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation. Very, very important to note that health integration module, or our health interoperability layer, figures prominently as part of this architecture, which follows the open HIE architecture that is globally being recommended for most countries. We are also looking at how to digitally enable, through digital health technologies, service delivery networks in order to achieve universal healthcare. In this scenario, we are looking at services that support the collection and storage of health information at the individual level, as well as services to electronically communicate and share information through healthcare communications and collaboration system. We also are looking how to define the data sets that will be needed, so that if you have standard data sets that are defined, they can be shared among the different healthcare providers in that locality. And therefore, you are able to create what we call a service delivery network. HL7 FHIR will be the enabling technology, which is the Health Information Exchange Standard, and that will be very, very helpful as we work towards a shared health record. So what's the impact for this one? Then once this is in place and fully implemented, then gone will be the days when an individual will be carrying paper records from one facility to another, as long as the patient or the individual provides the consent for that for his or her record to be shared with a healthcare provider, healthcare facility, then that could be electronically done. And that's really the goal for the Philippines. Take-home message for the Philippines, and at least for this presentation, is that key investments have been done in our country in human resource development, infrastructure, sustainable development as well. But all of these things need to be continue to be implemented. We have done a lot, but we need to do more. And the gains that we have done, those should be sustained in order to improve essentially productivity, increase overall efficiency, and disseminate quality knowledge products. Science, technology, and innovation, they allow humans to focus more on doing the things that make us human. But it will be up to us to define whether the various STIs that we are utilizing will work for us, with us, and hopefully not against us. And hopefully in the next 10, 20, 30, 50 years, we will have a more resilient and healthy Philippines to leave to the next generation. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sarmiento. And last but not least, our final speaker for today, Mr. Fen V.E., the General Manager of Willow Glen MSC Berhad, Malaysia. Mr. E would like to share with us the digital transformation trends in Malaysia from a private sector perspective, and especially about the digital transformation solution in monitoring and control industry. So now please welcome Mr. E.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Pan. I'm from Willow Glen, Malaysia. Today I want to share with you a topic about digital transformations, a solution in monitoring and control industry. Okay, let's briefly introduce myself. I'm a general manager in Willow Glen, Malaysia. Myself is I'm in the engineering background. Okay, let's start with an introduction about our company, myself. Okay, I'm sure in this company more than about 20 years. And Willow Glen MSC Berhad is a public listed company in Bursa, Malaysia, with a stock exchange. And myself from Willow Glen, Malaysia. And we have Singapore, Willow Glen, Canada, and also the Sarawak and the Borneo Island. And throughout the years, we actually received some awards. Forbes Asia's Best Under Billion in year 2010, 2013, and 14. We also received a Malaysia Best Employer Brand Award in 2015 and 16. Okay, these are our industry focus. In Malaysia, we focus a lot in transportation, especially railway. We also have in water treatment plants, power, one of the very active industry in Malaysia, and IoT is an emerging industry, security, and building management system. Gas management, meaning we do it in overseas, in Europe. Okay, what we do in terms of solutions, basically we provide real-time monitoring and remote control solutions. We call ourselves sometimes master system integrator. We mean that we provide a turnkey solution, okay, for system integrations, process plant automations. R&D is one of the our setup in Malaysia. We do provide hardware and software design. Okay, we do some customization for the based on the client requirements. IoT also one of the latest technology we are involved. Okay, let's share with you about the conventional system whereby in the past is how it looked like. Okay, this is a top layer. Usually we have a master station, we call it, or control center, a smaller scale. Then come the second layer will be communication, media. whereby all the industrial protocol will follow like IEC protocol, TNP, UPAS, for some of the protocols. Okay. Then third layer will be these remote devices, we call RTU or PLC. In building automation, something we call DDC. Then to the field devices, all the sensors, actuators will be connected. We wire, okay, or Wi-Fi back to this RTU and send back to a command center. Okay, let's see the emerging trends whereby the latest system architecture. Okay, on top you can see that we call command center, which is a smart data aggregation, visualization, and decision platform. Okay, and whereby a much more complex system. And the communication, of course, has expanded. Okay, with beside the conventional IEC, MQTT, one of the IoT protocols, DMB3, okay, some open data center protocols. The field terminal units, we have much more option nowadays. And of course, in the bottom layer, with all the devices, okay, we expand to many things, including the CCTV nowadays. Okay, the difference is the system right now, they want to see dashboard, like business intelligence with analytics functions, workflow engine, mobile apps. Nowadays, everybody carry mobile phone. So mobile apps is one of the requirements to extend all the information from command center to their hand and help. Because of that, cybersecurity becomes very important. The GIS integrations, whereby all the map will be used to pinpoint the location of their asset. Of course, asset management, maintenance, okay, they use the system to track their management, the maintenance performance. Here's some sample of the graphical user interface in different industry. There's some in the water industry, okay, some in the process plant, ports, okay, and power. Okay. CCTV also is one of the requirement. Okay, the RTU, these are our own products. We have a customized small scale like field terminal unit, FTU. Okay, it's a very small I/O count hardware. And RTU, which is 6500, which is a medium I/O count to support redundancy for the larger series. And this one will require some certification from overseas and also in Malaysia. We are also a customized unit like RTU 69100 series, which will expand multiple communication port. Okay, let's share with you some of the project references. Okay, this is one of the project we have completed and delivered a few years ago. This is a LRT. Okay, this is a railway LRT. And in KL Center, you have a chance come to Malaysia. Okay, so this is one of LRT line. We have done a few railway. Okay, this is one of them. And we called Integrated Command Center, ICC. Okay, we have our system, whereby the station facility traction power modeling control, power automations, and power switchover, the underground tunnel modeling system like fire alarms, emergency call, the linear heat detection system, ventilation system, the gas detection system. Okay, you see in this command center, there are so many computer desktops here. Basically, there are more than about 7 to 10 systems. Okay, so every system comes with one computer. Our job is to integrate them all into one platform so that all can be monitored. CCTV is also one of them. Okay, so this is what you see the system we are integrated so that the operator, so if they only can look at our system, they can see the rest of the system. This is another project. This is in railway, but this is a double track. This is a long distance railway. We call it double track projects. This project is about 40 million USD. So the distance cover about close to 200 kilometers away. And you see from the map. Okay, our scope is a command center, the digital transmission system with the fiber optics, which is a backbone for communications, CTV, of course, a scanner system, the public address system, passenger information display system, master clock, PBX, the central radio integrations, the access control for the security, for IT network, plus the UPS, So this project is still ongoing. I think another maybe 2 years to complete. It is a highway project. This we call intelligent transportation system. And you come to Malaysia, we call it due-to highway. And this there's a command center here. You can see all CCTV. There are many devices or equipment to link back CCTV or the help phone. Okay, they have automatic vehicle detection system whereby detect if any traffic jam or any illegal parking, any illegal vehicle stopped by somewhere. And dynamic road sign, okay, to show the messages, okay, to divert the driver to somewhere else because of some accident or jam. Okay, variable messages system. They can change the message to broadcast. Highway information system, for CCTV, and surveillance system, the IP phone, okay, when they need an emergency call. So all these are integrated back to the command center. So another reference is power, okay, electric and power. So basically in every country, power is very important. And all are distributed, and this is one of the typical setup or system. Basically, we have installed supply more than 3,000 unit RTU, and since 2017. And this is one of the inside installation. You can see RTU, all the wire will link back to all the switchgear, so that all the information was sent back to the, currently we upgrade to the 4G, future maybe in 5G, okay, using the redundancy SIM card to send back to the command center. What I will share with you, this one, it will be one of the largest underground, okay, sewage treatment plant in Asia Pacific. You can see here, basically it can cater for 6 million population. Okay. Of course, we have not reached that one for KL Central, but eventually you will cater for that. And you can see the top actually is a park, actually. It's a park, and below the park, basically is where all the treatment process. Okay, this is an integrated command center, and we provide automations. Because the plant is so big, basically you can't operate using human alone. So you have a centralized command center. This is where the command center, and we do the PMS, okay, building management system, okay, lighting control, and CCTV access control, perimeter sensing, okay, for security, the fiber optic network, and of course for communications. The next one will be a gas pipeline project in Slovenia. This project actually done in Malaysia, but installation all done in Slovenia, this country. Slovenia is a small country in Europe. Okay, you can see on top is Austria, Italy, and Croatia. So the whole country, basically, they have installed this RTU, and to monitor and control all the gas distribution. The gas actually coming from Russia. They have the option to switch it to Italy. Basically, this system will run 24/7, 4 seasons, and we provide remote support. This system actually we have done since 10 years ago, and 1 year ago we have paid for another upgrade to the latest system. And this is one of the command center. Drone actually is one of the latest technology, really become more and more popular. This is one of the actual project we provide for agriculture system. Basically, this drone used to act as the data collections, data analysis for the mapping the drone, okay, mapping when they scan all the geography, locations, all the asset. Basically, this would monitor all the palm trees. Okay, Malaysia is a lot of palm trees. It's two very, very huge area coverage. They're using CCTV camera to scan, okay, and also do spraying, okay, from some chemical if necessary. They also use to measure the air quality, okay. So the drone will carry all the sensor, will do this data collections and also analysis. This is a smart hospital, okay, whereby the hospital, we call it we provide a digital transformation for hospital, whereby They have all the control like lighting, okay, mechanical ventilation system, the water pump, the chiller system, the aircon, and the firefighting system. Everything actually will link back to one command center so that they can monitor. So that this is one of the screen. Actually, screen. When you go inside, actually you can see all the detailed process, equipment status. The top here you see some alarms, the real-time alarms. Alarm will be sample updated in 1 or 2 seconds every hours if there's an alarm update. Okay? It's a real-time monitoring system. Okay, this is another project and in Singapore. Basically, this is under Singapore Housing Development Board, which we call HDB plan. Actually, more than 25,000 RTU been installed across 6,000 housing blocks in Singapore Island. And basically, this RTU is to monitor the lift, CCTV, water pumps, okay, all the electricals, security. Of course, this project we are not done overnight. We started phase 1 in 20 years ago, but today they are still evolving, still expanding. Okay? And every year we have some upgrade and expansion. Today the system actually integrated for contractor management system. Okay, so where they can track the response time of the contractor performance, how fast they're going to normalize or repair or fix all the problem at site. Okay, like complaint management system. And this system is in fact linked back to the police force. Okay, so also act as a security system. And the lift, of course, maintenance management, scheduling and monitoring. So basically, the system will track all the maintenance activity, the time, okay, and also monitor what are the status after they do the repair, and from there they can measure their performance. Okay, we come to the end of this sharing. So emerging trends and challenges. So basically, the current industry, the more to the need integration of multi-subsystem, okay, whereby an open platform, an open protocol is required. Okay, basically the systems are not just silo, it's not standalone, they need to talk to different subsystems. Integration of CCTV, of course, is one of the very, very popular. And the CCTV, they are not just want to bring back the real-time video, they want to do video analytics as well. That's why artificial intelligence is very important nowadays because of massive amount of CCTV data coming back to command center. Basically, one operator, they cannot see everything. So they need an artificial intelligence system to process and provide a more meaningful or conclusive information. System visualizations, basically they want to extend the system life cycle. They need a more scalable processing power, whereby this so-called cloud-based solutions coming in. Okay. Industry 4.0, of course, is one of the popular topic in especially in plant automations, in factory automations. Okay. And of course, important is the analytics and predictive functions. This is one of the they require to achieve. This is whereby a more performance-based solution. Portable access. Basically, they want to extend everything to mobile apps, especially during pandemic time. A lot of people working from home. Okay, so phone, actually all the handheld become one of the important tools for them to monitor all the functions, all the activities, all the alarms, besides communications. Okay, so that's why mobile apps is one of the requirement to make the system become more portable. Basically, it's a remote, so-called portable command center, a small-scale command center. Okay, thank you. Thanks for your listening. Any further information, of course, you can contact me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. E, and all speakers for your fruitful speech today. And next, we will proceed to our final QA session and conclusion. We welcome all of our participants to post questions to our speakers in the chat box. And please also join me to welcome our moderator, Dr. Jet P.H. Shu, the advisor of Ministry of Economic Affairs, Taiwan. Dr. Shu, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for your introduction, and also thank you so much all the participants to join the 2021 Innosight Workshop. Especially, we had 14 presentations, and the 14 speakers all deliver very, very good and wonderful message for the pandemic economic resilient development. I think the key is how can we connect together and come up with a very good policy, and for government they can implement, and also for industry, and also academia and research institute, they can all cooperate together. So now I'd like to conclude some of the points for your reference. So this one, I still focus on the policy recommendation, focus on the building the post-pandemic resilient economy through science, technology, innovations. And that's my observation from the last year to this year. And this year still had 2.5 more months to go, okay? And I had 7 points to show some of the major impact in the 2020. And then go through the 2021, I'd like to take you through the point to point from my observations. First one, GDP is declined last year's more than 2.4% worldwide. And this year, and many region and country had unexpected the growth. But another negative point is the labor shortages. Point 2, in the 2020, the healthcare system almost broke down due to the severe pandemic challenge. Many people got an infection, and also many people that die. We are very, very sorry for that. And this result to the 2021, the labor shortage from health-related employees. That's created more severe condition for some country regions to face all the pandemic challenges. Point 3, due to the pandemic's challenges, the conventional supply chain used to be a very long chains for some big makers in the world. You can see they must face a lot of material shortage and labor shortage, and so from long chain broke down to the short chains. And this year's even the higher demand, growing demand, creating a lot of challenge in logistic issues. U.S. just announced they will change their regulation, allow the people in the seaport can work 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Some the Amazon, Walmart, they will join for this kind of labor operations. So logistic congestion is a big problem in these years. Number 4, growing the virtual connectivities. And that's changed the way we connect the people. So this year we see the web connectivity become a common practice. And also this one will already speed up the I-commerce innovation. The I stand for intelligence. So that's not only for the conventional e-commerce, not more intelligent in terms of the AI and data, and also all the business model and the model base of the operations. So they change the world, okay? Number 5 point, last year, due to the pandemic challenge, the STI, Science Technology Innovation Institute, they're slowing down all the capacity building, and also the budget, the shortage, because a lot of the government move all the budget allocate to the pandemic's rescue, and also the more on the prevention side, especially the vaccines. And this vaccination is the important issue for all the countries in the world. So this year's, so they're growing the higher demand on digital transformation for the higher productivities. So you can see a lot of the big companies in the world, they use the intelligent device, even transform from the Industrial Revolution 4 to their custom-made or the internal operations. So try to increase the productivity, and instead of depends on the lot of labor to do all the productions. Number 6, this is difficult for every country in the 2020. The government subsidized a lot of the money for individual to enterprise, so they create higher national debts. And some countries, they don't have that strong the financial support and the budget to allocate for all the industrial sectors. So this year's uneven regional development and widening the living standard gaps. So inclusivity, that's the key word for all the nations. They want to face the this year challenge and go on, okay? Number 7 point in the 2020 is slowing down the social demand, deepening the more middle income trap. Because a lot of service, the sector is the regulated and also the controlled by the government to keep the distance from the people to people. So the service industry get hurt a lot. So this year, higher policy demanding on inclusivity development. Otherwise, the living standard where the gap will wider and wider and create a lot of poverty issues in the lot of the countries. And so this year in the Innosight, the workshop, from the 14 presentations, you can see a lot of focus on the bio, a lot of focus on the industry. So I come out with the 5 points of the guidelines for all your reference. This in terms of building a post-pandemic resilient economy through the science, technology, innovation. Actually, we came out with this kind of topic maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and then you can look at the UN. They just announced a few weeks ago, they still emphasize the importance of the science and technology innovation for each nation to develop their resilient economy to break through all the barrier in terms of the pandemic challenges. So the guideline 1, we encourage each nation to analyze and define the development benefit of the science, technology, innovation, translate directly into the daily lives of the people in the regions. And we cannot take care of all the nation in the world, but the regional cooperation is easier to handle that. So every penny of STI budget, you must think about how can they benefit directly to the daily lives of the people, okay? Number 2, the guideline is the policymaker resource allocation to closing down the gap on good health, well-being, and inclusive economies. As I just mentioned, policymakers is important to allocate their budget and resources to help individual and also the enterprise. And this one, number 1 priority is good health and well-being. That is very important. And you need to put more effort for inclusive economic development, not only for the big enterprise. The big enterprise need to help the small, medium enterprise to get the inclusive economic development. Number 3 point, setting the development priority of the technologies. Today's I think about more than 8 the papers among of the 14 is all focused on technologies. You can see from the air to the ground and then to the 5G infrastructure and bio. So setting the government the priority of the technology is very important because the government money got to go to the very critical and also benefit to the society, the development, such as education, platform, biotech, information, communication, autonomous related service and technologies. Especially autonomous is focused on non-contact technologies. With the foundation of Industry 4.0 and also intelligent base of the technology development, that's very important to reach autonomous the stage. Once you got all the budget in place and you try to implement for those technology development, you need to do the risk assessment. What if did not get it that is on the ground and help the industry, help the employee, help the society? How can you do that? So risk assessment, management on frontier, the technologies. And the frontier technology always a high risk. So we encourage the international cooperation. So on frontier technology cooperation, and also you need to assessment that, and you develop that, and then you demonstrate that, and then you implement that. So that's the stage. For each frontier technology, you need for a policymaker, you need to do those kind of very carefully examine their risk label and how to manage that. Number 5 point is the regional STI connectivity for policy, the benchmarking, dialogue, platform development, workshop, and the continuous improvement. Innosight is one of the platforms in the region for the participant. They can take this opportunity to examine their policy. That's one of from the benchmarking standpoint point of view, and we can have a lot of dialogue. Today, the workshop is one of the platforms of the dialogue. And once this platform forms that, and then we can have a side-by-side or the one-to-one or the one-to-two or one-to-many of the workshop. And then also we can raise all the gap and plus the continuous improvement the points. And that's a guidelines. I also to help today's the workshop, we come out some of the post-pandemic resilient SDI development strategy. And actually, this is a 6 point. The first point is, in order to do the workshop or in order to do the policy implementation, you need to come out very important, what's the vision. The vision is not only you said you want to do that, you do it. You must have some kind of communications. And once you get a communication, most important thing is you need to figure out what is the transformation, the mechanisms. And step 2 of the strategy is you need to relate to the themes. Today's theme is pandemics, post-pandemic resilient economy development. So pandemic prevention, innovation, that's today's theme, okay? So used to be, we had a very conventional biology, biotech development. And these days, even the gene therapy or gene sequence used to be take more than week, days, but today's we call the AI and also model-based patents. They can do the iBio, iHealthcare, and all those are related to technology and how will they relate to the economy. So resilient economy capacity building is very important for today's one. Once the government once set their policy, you need to have the very solid themes. But today's theme is pandemic prevention and innovation. So the third one, under that big theme, then you need to do what can I, how can I, building the science technology capacity. So what and how, that's all related to the policymakers. How do you measure it? How do you initiate? So the policy dialogue to platform development is very important. And today's workshop is one of the platforms for the policymakers. They can take this dialogue opportunity and to come out to make this the foundation more solid and more frequent. We had a dialogue, okay? Number 4, under the science, technology, capacity building, then you need to see what is the technology. You should do that. And these days, Industrial Revolution 4, there are the 5 we call the virtual technology and the 4, the physical technology together form the Industrial Revolution 4. And that's not enough. You must have your domain and domain practice and use intelligence-based transformation linked with Industrial Revolution 4, IR4. Then you can set up the technology. How can the technology to be implemented to the industry, to the society, and each individual in terms of good health and well-being can get a true benefit. Number 5 point, once your technology does that, you cannot do it alone. You need a cluster. You need a very creation, the partner. So I call it the value chain development. Today we see a lot of presentations. They are very good technology inside that. But beyond the technology, beyond the corporations, you need to think about the effectiveness alignment with the resource allocation and how can you judge the effectiveness. I think value chain development is very important one. No value, you just waste your budget. So the value chain, each station of the player, you need to assess how can you play a better position. So value proposition for each player and also chain together, then you can have a value chain development for that. Number 6, once the value chain there, you need to become an ecosystem. You need to become a sustainability of that. So sustainable growth is very important for that. So SDG is one of the science, technology, innovation, the group in the APEC. So SDG, sustainable growth, the development one. So that is another the strategy. You need to look at that. So the value creation and also productivity for inclusive economy development. Then we can say this is the cycle back to our STI development strategy for post-pandemic resilient economic development. So that's I propose that this is the strategy for your reference. Then we can discuss this later on, okay? Under that, I just grouping all the project together. So you can see technology and transformation for resilience system for COVID-19. That's from Taiwan, that's Stephen, and also trend of the STI policy, sustainable and resilient system in the new norm. That's for Indonesia. The BRN, that's actually you had done a good job on the item 1. And then the item 2, we had the harnessing STI for sustainable development for Philippines in the post-pandemic the eras. That is by the NIH, the University of the Philippines in the Philippines. So that's, you can see each of these papers already very clear show us on that. And number 3, item 3, EECI from the Thailand and also resilience education information from the Philippines. That's most like that is a platform for that. Okay, and item 4, that is the building STI. Item 4 is the technology. Okay, so you can see the five papers, 5 presentations already lying in this item 5. That's from the digital transformation acceleration in Indonesia for the facing COVID-19 pandemic. That's Indonesia, and the self-driving logistics. That's from the Taiwan, E3, and 5G smart port. That's from the Taiwan too. ART is the wind bus, autonomous the wind bus. That's another one, non-contact technology and also mobility for smart city the transportation. That's the future one. How can we help the post-pandemic in the non-contact transportation and smart transportations? Okay, and also the power innovation and the challenge in unmanned the drone. That's another one. That's a mobility, the sector. Item 5 is a value chain. That's in the Malaysia is a digital transformation solution in the monitoring and control industry. That's from industry, the sector, to show how their value creation in terms of all the communication and digital transformation solution on that. And Taiwan's the development policy autonomous vehicle, that's from the AVTEP, actually is a very good policy for develop the technology and new industry for that. That's from the technology and innovation and also sharing the experience. So that's a very, very good project and paper on that. And number 6 item is the sustainable growth, the strategy. So that's the Vietnam that shows the STI policy for Vietnam, the resilient and sustainable development for post COVID-19 pandemic. So that's by NIST, PASS from the Vietnam one. And the last one, that's BCG. That's very important. Without the BCG, that's a very, very difficult to reach the sustainability, the economy, the development. And BCG also the next year, the APEC, the PPSTI in the Thailand, is a theme for the science, technology, innovation for that. So thank you so much for all your contribution, especially all the speakers. You spend a lot of time to present and also prepare. As in prepare is more, preparation is more important for that. We are true. Thank you so much. So now we like to take the question from the floor. I think we already had some question on the web already. Okay. The first one is they like to ask the Tina from Italy, what role can STI play in the strengthening the resilience for the future shocks? Tina, can you, would you please?
Thank you. It's a very good question. Thank you very much. I have no doubt that about the ICT will play a very important role in strengthening the resilience. The pandemic is changing our lives dramatically, as our keynote speech from the Vice President, Dr. Su, mentioned earlier this morning, right? And I would like to echo to the importance from our moderator, Dr. Su, mentioned, the number 4s, Industrial Revolution 4, intelligence-based transformation 2. I think this is very important and really echo to my talks. So I have 2 points to address. The first one, I think 5G AIoT smart pole is an enabler for 5G data demanding services. And it will make massive data collection, transmission, analysis more effectively. I believe it will eventually strengthen the resilience of our society. Second, 5G smart pole can be used and accelerate some of the areas from the speakers they mentioned today, right? Like agriculture, self-driving, autonomous vehicle, smart factory, even smart logistics, the AMR, autonomous mobile robot, a smart city governors, and the mobile infrastructure. It can easily be deployed in the remote area for the coverage of the broadband, since the smart pole can be isolated total solution for, for one area to coverage the broadband. I hope to have the chance to work with you and share with you, and we would like to encourage the open field testbed in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tina. This is the wonderful answer for that. The same question we like to ask the James Lake about the your and in your office, how can help the government to promote this autonomous vehicle from industry to the society implementation? James, you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Su. In my opinion, for this issue, in terms of the autonomous vehicle, I think the future, the shocks or the challenge we are facing is has two. The first is how to face the future field with the complex scenario, such as in Taiwan, we have the spatial scenario that the car and the motorcycle, okay, run on the same road. So that means that it will create the complexity, how to use the autonomous technology to deal with all kind of the scenario. That's the first. The second for this issue is how to enhance the autonomous technology, including the sensing, control, and the decision technology. That means how to improve the technology from the level 2 or 3 to the 4 or 5 in the future. Okay, for the terms of the technology and science and technology, is how to use the government incentive or government resource to invite the R&D institute and the private sector to work together for the technology development. And the R&D institute, they have a lot of the good resource. They can develop the new leading the edge. And the private sector, they have a lot of experience and the main source to develop the technology for the commercialize. Okay, for the innovation, I think that we can use the government incentive to encourage the innovation, the sector, to provide new technology or to operation or service. Okay, and through the field certification, to certify its possibility or feasibility for the take into the business model in the future. And we provide, in Taiwan we provide the sandbox for the years, and we invite and promote some of the cases to do the best test in this sandbox. I think that we can exchange more the experience and the information with all of you, and for the future, the good cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you, James. Yeah. Next question regarding the coordination for the big units. Dr. Yani Bhatia, are you there? Yes. The question is, in your presentations, you mentioned about the co-workers with the 4 big guys. How can you do that? And what role you play to make these things work in terms of the SDI policy for sustainable and resilient system in the new norm? Please.
Yeah, thank you for the question from Dr. William, yeah, Dr. William Sai. Okay, the question is how BRIN coordinate and communicate with these 4 units efficiently. As I mentioned in my presentation, that BRIN has just developed by integrated the 4 big research institutes. This Indonesian Institute of Sciences of LIPI, and the Agency for the Assessment and Application of Technology, or BPPT. I think BPPT is quite a good relationship with I3, because most of the researchers from the BPPT quite often to invite to the workshop and which be held by the I3. And then the third is the National Institute of Aeronautics and Space, or LAPAN, and the National Nuclear Energy Agency of Indonesia, or BATAN. This integration is just started 2 months ago. So it's very new, yeah. And then currently our board of executive is trying to set up all the business process and as well as the structure. So it's still just in the beginning. So I cannot say anything about how we can run the organization, how we coordinate and how we communicate with these 4 units efficiently, because it's just in the beginning. But I hope that this integration of the 4 big institutions, we can run the organization smoothly and efficient. I think that the answer of the question. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And that's a very good answer. Also, you can take the strategy to evaluate each of them and how can they contribute more in terms of the value creation, in terms of the value chain development. Okay? Okay. I think we just had 1 minute left, but I still like to open for one more question in terms of the BCG. That's next year's APEC PPSTI in Thailand. They use this main theme of that. Anyone on the web want to just 1 minute to provide your comment? No? Okay. So that's good. Everybody is rushed for that. And the BCG, bio, circulate, and green. And today's, I think we not only face pandemic the challenge, also face the energy cost is the increase. Some of the region already encounter the electricity shortage. And the extreme weather is coming. You can see a lot of the region already, the temperature draw down dramatically. So we all know this is the issues. We encourage each other to provide the better science, technology, innovation on BCG, bio, that's related to the pandemic, and also the circular economy. Don't create too much waste. And green, we need a green product, green energy, and green process to make ourselves have a good health and well-being. Thank you so much for your participation. Thank you for your contribution on 2021 Innosight Workshop. Thank you so much. Now concludes this year's 2021 Innosight Workshop. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you, Dr. Xu, and all of our speakers and all of our participants today. As Dr. Xu said, this will conclude today's 2021 Innosight Workshop. But if you have any more questions because of the time limitation, we can't answer all of your questions right now. So, but feel free to leave your question in the chat box and, of course, your contact information as well. And we will get back to you after the workshop. And also, I'd like to remind you that the Taiwan Innotech Expo will be ongoing until October 23rd. So feel free to check the Innotech Expo online. And once again, thank you all for joining us here today at the 2021 Innosight Workshop. Hope you will have a really great day, and we'll see you next year. Thank you.
Welcome to Taiwan Innotech Expo 2021. We will introduce the most innovative technology of information and digital in this video. The government has been actively promoting artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things to promote Taiwan to become the digital base that contributes to global prosperity and security. In this video, we will introduce 6 highlight technologies. AI-based high-density shuttle rack service system by Industrial Technology Research Institute. AI-based high-density shuttle rack service system increases the storage capacity by 2.5 times and saves up to 60% of shipping time. It effectively reduces the time from order to shipment and increases shipment tenfold during peak seasons for distribution. A6 Axe Robot EtherCAT 7-axis force-assisted control robot solution by A6 Electronics Corporation. Using ASIC's AX58200 Axe Robot EtherCAT, robot technology can effectively reduce motor drive board PCB space and hardware design costs for each robotic arm joint. AR Light Field Display Engine by Peter Ray Inc. Peter Ray, the key components provider of AR Light Field Module, will occupy the world's leading position and enhance the competitiveness of our AR/XR glasses industry. The Smart Helmet by Institute of Labor, Occupational Safety and Health, and Ministry of Labor. The Smart Helmet incorporating the safety monitoring system that's capable of voice communication, on-site hazardous gas detection, uploading field data to the monitoring center, image recognition technology in the hazard prevention of dangerous processing operations, Occupational Safety and Health, and Ministry of Labor. Through the smoothing of the images, labeling and denoising skeleton information, transformed into data and visualized to conduct machine learning training and operating action recognition models. Automatic classification and arrangement system for Sauri by Fisheries Agency, Council of Agriculture, Executive Yuan. Use image recognition technology to distinguish the direction of the head and tail of the fish and classifies them according to the direction of the fish body for subsequent packing operations. Thank you for watching this video. For more information about information and digital technologies, welcome to go to the theme pavilions at Taiwan Innotech Expo.
未来科技不再只是想象，各种创新应用已经悄悄出现在你我的生活中，你发现了吗？快看，天空出现好多无人机，是在空拍风景吗？哇哦！没想到他们居然能在风力发电机运转时进行巡检，不到5分钟就完成一架风机检测，甚至连细微到4毫米的损伤都能发现。有无人直升机载着物资往山上飞去了，它在空中停留时间比以往多3倍，能轻松完成3000公尺以上的高山投递任务，让救援更快更安全。咦？远方的亮光又是什么呢？哦，原来是太阳光电板呀！安装太阳能板后，减少燃烧煤炭，空气变干净。新边框能对抗高湿、高风沙、高沿海环境，也可回收利用，对地球更加友善。嘿，有电动无人车开过来了！没想到车子也有心电感应。它会自动辨识交通号志，控制车速，让自驾车自我防护能力大大提升。当汽车前挡玻璃可以及时显示行车资讯时，非常需要防刮、耐磨、耐冲击的防护层保护。那医院里又有什么创新应用呢？新型的青光眼药物，一天只需1次点药，可有效降低眼压，解决高眼压青光眼无药可用的问题。多椎节手术导航系统，就像 Google Maps 提供图像资讯，可准确引导手术路径，大幅提升安全性。在大家最关心的照护与防疫应用领域，也有突破性的发展。天哪！收到紧急通知，远端的爷爷心跳体温出现异常。幸好有远端侦测通报系统，它可以透过 AI 热像侦测呼吸、心跳、体温与姿势判别等生理状态，是居家照护与防疫关键第一线。你是否感受到未来科技已在生活中的各种应用了呢？还有更多创新亮点等你来挖宝解密哟！